Hello, hello, good morning. Mr. Suez, hello, and Esitsu, hello. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was not a fun time being sick. I had actually gotten back from back from the trip, and I was feeling really tired and like, oh man, I shouldn't stream. I should just focus on not getting sick and just like sleeping. And then of course I got sick the very next day. So that was I detected it, but didn't didn't quite detect it in time. But I suppose that's what happens when I spend too much time in planes. So uh, I spent all my pre-stream time just sort of setting up the environment because all of my accounts had expired. I need to re-put in all my passwords again, log in all the things. But I believe that I got everything logged in again. I remembered from the branch that we're in that we're playing around with CORM as opposed to Diesel now, which is good. And I think that's it. Like I'm able to I started the Docker backend, which includes the database, and then I also started the Axum backend. And now it's time to sort of well, I was able to get these, so that's good. So I think what was I doing with the rest of the stuff? Oh, I think I still need to get the tests running. Still need to get the test running. So let's see if I can do that. So we have oh, I have okay, so I've got JavaScript, I got Node.js installed, I've got all that stuff. So we cd out of here and go into integration tests to the backend tests. And I believe here we do npm. Let's take a look at what so I probably just want to use test. Watch all doesn't make that much sense unless I'm watching the directory that I'm coding on. So this is probably just npm test. Not found. Okay. Oh, and I think I need to do a source on the .env first, and then I can do. There we go. There we go. So our first failing test is cannot sign up. Oh, because it's now trying to read property of undefined, reading ID or username, user to create. Is that okay? So I'm trying to get. I think I created a user. Yeah, it's part of sign up. So that's the next thing. Is like, what did I do? So back here under users, oh, these are our models. Routes, users, create user. Oh right, I decided, completely forgot. I'm going to turn off the music too. Oh wait, I muted my mic, not my pretzel. Sorry about that. I was I was saying, um, I've been playing. I've been thinking about sometime relatively soon. I don't know exactly when. Maybe when I come out with this course, also turning on partnership mode with YouTube, just to sort of see if that's possible. I may not be there yet with the requirements. But if it was that, because I advertisements are happening on my channel, so I might as well get some monetization from that, if they're gonna happen anyways. And I noticed that some of my videos have been claimed by for music stuff, and then months later they get unclaimed automatically because YouTube, I guess, kind of sort of follows up, maybe, or maybe Pretzels constantly trying to find like these claims that are false. But if I were to do that, I wouldn't get any money from those videos for that entire time, like the first 3 months that they'd be out, which is usually when most of the views come. So I don't know. I'm thinking about just doing no music while I'm programming, unless I can find some music that is not going to be claimed. Um, I don't know. So uh, tell me what you all think. Like, do you really need music? Because I could probably find some way to do it where Twitch, you can hear it on Twitch, but then it doesn't go into the VOD, which I don't think is that hard to do. I just need to do some research on the channels to send out on OBS, and then we could probably do that. Okay, so create user here. So I create a token, user response data. Oh, wait. User response. I'm not actually sending this to the database, am I? I should be able to save a VOD without the music. Yeah. I think, yeah, I should be able to. I just need to figure that out. Um, I'll probably add that into my to-do list. I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that have now come up after my trip, so I need to work on that too. But yeah, I bet it's like gonna be channel like 1 or 6 or something like that. I vaguely remember reading about like which channel it is. Esitsu, of course, the work calls. Well, have a good work. Thank you for saying hello at the very least, and have a good work. Okay, so this is I'm now trying to create a user. Because I have an ID, but it's not the same one. And it's trying to get. Cannot read properties of undefined. This is line 33. Oh yeah, it's reaching. Okay, so this now reaches into the database directly. Finds a user that I attempted to create, and it doesn't exist because it didn't actually create that user, because this route doesn't actually create the user. But in our test with CORM last week, yeah, it was last week on Tuesday, Wednesday. Here's users. So we have the CORM here. Okay. We have all of this stuff. This is great. I want to, in here now, use that model to create a user. Request user. Okay, this is coming in. Wolfburst dad, hello. Okay, so request user coming in, username, and the token that I created. I'm creating the user from this. I don't even know if I need this user anymore. Sure, yeah, you're studying AI? Yeah, it's been a week now. So tell us, how has your experience with AI been? While I fumble around and try to figure out how to create an entity in the database with CORM. I do like the color and like the sort of like the logos from it. I do like that. It looks nice. All right, so basics. We've got a connection, I believe. Okay, insert. Let's say it's interesting seeing the incompetence of the education system mixed with the incompetence of data analysts. The labs really don't teach anything. We're given example code and told to change parameters until we get the expected result. This time we got a data set of handwritten digits and need to modify the parameters in a TensorFlow model until we get to 99% accuracy. Okay, so that's I did that in my AI journey, and I didn't actually get it working. I'm changing epochs and batch sizes and activation functions, all which changes the resulting accuracy, but I have no clue what I'm doing. Instead of telling me what all these parameters are, we're just given a 3B, 1B video on neural networks. 3B, 1V. That sounds really familiar. I bet I've seen their videos. On neural networks, which doesn't really explain the assignment problem. Eventually, I played with enough values to get a high enough accuracy, and I still don't know what I changed. Three blue, one brown. Okay, that's it. I have seen a lot of videos on that YouTube channel. Yes, I like that channel a lot. Uh, okay, I want to find. So what you're saying is reminding me of something like a theory of education that was introduced to me in the book. Um, oh, it's what book is that? I have it on a Kindle and I forgot what it is. Raticide, hello. This isn't learning, it's playing with parameters until it does what you want without learning about what it is you're changing. Oh, you learned linear algebra off that guy. Yeah, I've used that thing to learn some other stuff in the past, but I forget exactly what it was because it's been long enough. But I really like the videos. The videos are great. Um, I'm now trying to remember what. Okay, it was pragmatic thinking and learning. Learning, and then there's the pyramid of learning, which I'm trying to. Is there an image of the pyramid? Kind of. Not really what I was looking for. Oh, I forget. I forget exactly what it is. I'm gonna have to reach out to my teaching friends and see if I can find um the name of the pyramid of learning that I'm trying to think of. Or maybe it'll just come to me later. unfortunately, I'm not thinking about it right now. But okay, so you're pretty unhappy with the lab so far. You don't learn anything. Suppose the purpose is to introduce you to all these concepts, playing with them, and later we'll learn more in detail when they are, and the relationships when we have more specialized courses and neural nets, for example. Yeah, this is a huge problem in a lot of things. That's Figma. Do I have Vision app? Go there. Oh, of course. That one. All right. Ah, they've been updating this, but it's still not. Oh yeah, I still have this. still have my ZPD thing from the last time I talked about this. So there's sort of two ideas. There's the pyramid of learning, which is a little bit more, a little bit easier to sort of understand where you are in it. But I think what's happening here in your thing, talking about like education theory, which I'm super passionate about, which is why I take the chance to talk about this every time I get. Your what they're having you do is over here in this like overwhelmed, stress, drowning area, which is why it just feels terrible because you're not learning, you're just doing random stuff, and you by the end of it, you still don't know it. You're not more comfortable with it. It hasn't improved anything at all. It's just been completely useless to you. What would really make sense is for them to understand and recognize that you need you need to be introduced a little bit more at the lower level, which will then be inside of your zone of proximal development, which is still hard, but at least for your level is what you need. And then you grow this rises over time, and then you can do more and more hard things. This pyramid that I was talking about, oh, this pyramid is interesting because down here at the lowest levels, it's this is all just being like, tell me what to do. And that's all we can do. Like when we're a super, super, super beginner at something, that's all we can do is just tell me what to do. Like tell me what keys on the keyboard to press to get the result that we want, because this is so scary. This is so like foreign to me that I don't know what's going on. I can change things, but I don't know what changed. And so therefore I haven't learned anything. Um, this is like bare minimum. This is like the level zero of things. And then immediately afterwards is where you can start doing things like, and then I forget exactly what they are because there's an actual like list of these. And I'll have to look it up to see exactly what it is. But it's like, okay, after you tell them exactly what to do, then it's more of sort of like minor experimentations. So like minor experiments. Then you can start playing with numbers, but you're also told what numbers to play with. Like only touch these things, don't touch anything else, and don't worry about it. And then you keep on going up until at the very top, you get something like give me an abstract problem and I'll solve it. That goes, I mean, that goes up here. It's I'll put you right there. At the very top of it, now at this point, you're just saying like, hey, create a machine learning model that will like, do these things. You don't have to say anything else. And you're like, yep, I could do that. And it may be hard. It may be, frustrating, but you can do that. You don't feel like you are drowning when completing that task. And so you have to walk everybody up to get to that point. there's a lot of teachers that sort of fall into the fun problem of assuming of basically not being able to teach unless their students already know what they're teaching, which in if you think about it, if you say that out loud, everything breaks down because you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. But I think it's because most teaching, as you said, is just not work. Doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. So sorry about ranting about that, but that, as I mentioned, that's also a favorite topic of mine. Okay, so I want to create this. So insert. Before diving into CRM insert, we have to introduce active value and active model. A wrapper struct to capture the changes made to active model attributes. Use CRM active value not set. Interesting. So is that not set value? Set. Okay, so that looks like a Josh Finney. Hello. Okay. Model and active model. An active model has all the attributes of model wrapped in active value. Had to share that horror story. I'm so sorry you're having to go through that. I hope that you're able to like figure that out and work through the frustration with the teachers and just still get to where you want to go. An active model has all the attributes of model wrapped in active value. You can use active model to insert a row with a subset of column set. Okay, so basically this is, it's not really a builder pattern, but it allows me to, basically they're custom options is what it looks like. So let cheese equals option cake model. Cake find, okay, that's finding that. Get the model. It's fine, I'm aware that the first year is always very broad and confusing. I'm sure it'll get better. At least I love my professor. You can tell he loves the subject and always has fun and includes the students in his teaching. That's good at least. It's so this is a problem with theory first education, is that theory doesn't mean anything unless you have context. And so even if you do know a little bit, you have to reteach the theory afterwards. So why bother to begin with? It's just waste. Just teach people up using direct and then theory afterwards. Okay, so get the model. So now this is like getting it from the database. I don't want to do that. How do I... Okay. If you want to save user input into the database, you can easily convert JSON value into active model. Note that you might want to skip deserializing JSON's primary key attribute. Interesting. Oh, right, because we're not updating the ID. So this is a problem that I'm having with this documentation, is that I want to insert. I want to learn inserting, but this to me doesn't feel like an insert that they're talking about. They feel like an update. Like, why would I get something from the database, change it, and then insert that as a completely new item? That would be an update, right? I guess I'm confused why I'm getting something from the database here. That's not what I want. Insert an active model and get back a fresh model. Its value is retrieved from database. So any auto-generated fields will be populated. So let pair equals fruit active model. Okay, so can I get users that way? So let's try this. Let new user equals now we have this users here. Object model, table name users. So I wonder if it's users that I need to use. Okay, users, active model. Okay, so all other attributes are set to not set. Okay, so I can do default for like the ID, for example. Username. So we're gonna set you to be. We have request user dot username. Password. The password needs to be hashed. I need to hash the password, which I don't have right now. So I could store the password directly. This is what we call a terrible idea and should never, ever, ever, ever do. I'm just gonna override it and make it that. Oh, but you can't be this thing. You need to be that special set thing, don't you? Set, yes. Okay. No, you stay over here. You need to be a string, okay. Deleted at, I want you to be, okay, you're not set. And then token, you're going to be set. And then here we have this token created up here. Okay. Why are you unhappy? Oh, because you're a set with a sum. Okay, so set sum token. Now I'm supposed to insert this and get the ID back. Okay, so I've created that active model. Okay, I can now do an insert into the DB and await. Okay, so then I could do let user equals user dot insert. You need a reference to the DB. Do I have that? I don't think I do. Oh, I have the DB connection right here. Oh, you're in a layer. I forget how to extract from the layer. I think it's like extension DB. Oh, yeah, it's going to be that exact thing here. So we could do extension DB, extension. So config here is an arc config, and the DB is just a database connection. So then, okay, so we take this DB and I pass U in here as a reference. We're in async, so we can await. Which gives me a result. Let's unwrap because that's always a good idea. That gives me a model back. Decided to supplement your learning with some self-studies. You found a book on machine learning in our library yesterday, which seems good. Mentions that the purpose of machine learning is to find a model that will best fit our problem with a given bias towards certain models, and that machine learning is typically an ill-posed problem, at least for supervised learning, since it requires more data than is available from the data set to accurately dial in an appropriate model. That's above my ZPD of like what that really means. And I've actually created a deep learning model and other things to like actually play a game of Pong before, but I still don't really understand what I did. So that's a thing. It's one of the things that I want to try and get into sometime is try some more AI type things. I guess it's not AI, machine learning type things. It's been the general play I got to my horror story. Welcome to machine learning, which sucks. I really do believe that there is room in that space for better education. Because like so far, all the stories are like, nope, it just sucks, and you have to do all the crap that we did. And every time I hear that in other areas, it's usually proven wrong. So I don't believe that you have to go through the nightmare that everyone else did in the past to learn it. It's just either nobody's figured out how to teach it yet, or no actual like teachers that know how to teach are really like understand it well enough to teach yet. But we're gonna get there. Maybe someday I'll do it. I need to learn it first though. Okay, so user model data user. Okay, so I get this user response. Oh no, I'm creating user response out of here. Okay. Which is data and a user. Okay. Reminds me of Feynman, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it enough. Yeah, that's actually a huge teaching technique, is being able to explain it simply and then matching your explanation to each individual learner's abilities to process it. It's the reason why having like a giant class of like more than 20 people, it doesn't work, because you can't do like a lecture and hit everyone at their level. It's just you're going to hit like 30% at best. Okay, so data user username. So can I do user response? User response. Now, that's not giving me anything. So I have this user response. Oh, because it's a data. Wait a second. Wait a second. No, you're not a user response. Oh wait, no, you are. Wait. Okay, I'm confusing myself. I want user dot username. There we go. That's what I want. And then my user response. Okay, so we have the ID. Okay. Let's also do ID is user dot ID. You can try. I don't remember if I have link sharing for you on. I have it off for like general. And it also depends upon like where you're sharing it. If you can't share it there, share it in Discord also. Okay, so unfortunately that was a blocked link. Let me try. Let me grab that from Nightbot. If Nightbot loads, come on. I have to log in here again too. Okay. Oh, interesting. That's to like a Discord app CDN. Oh, that is fascinating. But yeah, so here's what we got. I'm probably not going to whitelist the Discord CDN because there's just that could just be any link in the future. But so validation training lab was just to tweak numbers and he got to 98.5 accuracy. I have no idea how to read that or what it means. Is this yours? And is this interesting? Okay. Yeah, I don't really know anything about epochs. I don't know about anything else, but or just here's your guess. You could see like you're matching theirs. Like I see a correlation between like wherever I wonder if this is like the teacher's one or like what you're supposed to get to. You can see you got the dips in the right places. So it has the right general shape. So yeah, that's I mean it's interesting. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's interesting. An upblock is how many passes you make it through the model. Oh, okay. So that's how many times you ran. That doesn't seem like that many. I vaguely remember when I did it, it was hundreds of times. But that was also for Pong, so maybe that's different too. Stephen Saggyball, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so used a moved value. Pub ID I32. This is an I32. Oh, because username is string. Expected U32 found an I32. Okay, so let's change you to an I32. Let's see. You're doing good. Behind at work, so gotta focus. Well, good luck at work. I have faith in you. You can do it, but also like hopefully not needing to overwork. You don't know. You googled it and they say they had a bat size of 100 for an epoch of 550 to 100. Usually works pretty good for larger data sets. You have no clue why, and they didn't seem to know either. It's just been shown to work often. Oh, that's fun. The blind teaching the blind. Okay, so your string. So I'm guessing I need to clone the string out if I want to use more of these things. Okay, so that is so ID, username, and then token. So I don't need this default. Grabbing everything. Token is now oh no, token is this token. Oh, actually no. We can take it out. So user dot token clone, yep, which is an option, and you are a string. So let's do unwrap or default, which will give me an empty string if it doesn't exist. So I believe I'm cargo watching this, so it's been recompiled. If I come back to here, I now want to do a create a new user. I never did. Okay, so this can be a post. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that could be good. F Gillette. I will store that. Is that is that Twitter? All right, I'll keep that. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Interesting. How many hours a day do I code? Um, it's not as often as you might think because I'm also a manager. So during my day job, I have a lot of management duties as opposed to just sitting down and coding. So I would say I usually get like I a couple, so like maybe four on a good day. Um, this time is like I get more consistent coding time done during my streams than I do during work. But that's my job as a manager is to jump in front of meetings so that my team can get their work done. Yeah, I mean it's that kind of stuff is one of their important things that they're working on. So I can imagine that's pretty big thing to work on and do. All right, so I'm doing HTTP localhost. Okay, so post to API v1 users and body. So username Brooks, password 1234 because of reasons. I then hit this. Oh, and look at that. Data ID 2. So if I do ID 3, okay. So this is, I think this is working. And this is going to get a little bit further in my test. So last time we failed here. Cannot read properties of that. Let's try this again. Oh, what exactly is pragmatic thinking and learning about? Okay, so the book Pragmatic Thinking and Learning is a great book about how we learn. And we as in like humans, because obviously how computers learn doesn't really matter if like we can't learn ourselves. And it's an older book now, but like the pragmatic programmer is still like considered a gold standard for like new developers to read. Pragmatic Thinking and Learning, I think, is also right up there. It's one of the best books that I've read for how we learn, how we think. Um, it has is that the Dreyfus model? I think it might be the Dreyfus model. The Dreyfus model of skill acquisition. Wow, this is a terrible Wikipedia page on it. They didn't invent it, by the way. Dreyfus model is something that Dreyfus wrote in their own book. Um, this doesn't make any sense here. The way they've written this out. Oh, Thinking Fast and Slow is also a great book. I love that book. It's super long, but it's good. So at like the novice level here, you're basically you can't recall anything. You don't recognize anything at all. You can't you have to like actively analyze every decision before you make it, so it's exhausting. And all you're doing is monitoring. We're watching other people do stuff and like you're doing that. But then as you get better and you get more expert, then it's sort of becomes like, oh, it depends like type situation. You can actually figure out what that it was. And then you can actually do it yourself. Um, the pyramid version of the Dreyfus model is far superior. Dreyfus model pyramid. see if I could find. This one might be good. Um, so at the very beginning, when you're in a novice, rigid adherence to rules, no discretionary judgment. Basically, you can't do anything. You have to just be told what to do and how to do it, and then you're going there. And then you go to advanced beginner, and now it's like, oh, I recognize this thing from here. Let me try it myself and start playing around with it. And you start building a mental model around how things go, and then you just climb. The teacher's job is to climb you up the pyramid here. So if any of you are interested in this type of thing, there is an image to it. Okay, so I did get past that. Was able to still failing to sign up, but getting closer. I'm now on line 478 as an error. New users should get default tasks. Cannot read properties of undefined reading length. Oh, new users should get default tasks. Okay. So when I create a new user, I should also assign tasks to that user. Okay. So getting a little bit closer here. We have if I lived another life, would I still decide to code? If it was right now at this time, I mean, probably. It's hard for me to imagine doing something other than coding type stuff. Although, like, what I'm sort of leaning towards and moving towards is coding and teaching. Um, and then also the other side of things is I want to get more into business, specifically business consulting and helping businesses integrate their IT departments throughout the entire company, because that's company like organizations that do that are far, far, far in a better position to succeed and just like explode than uh than the companies that don't do that and just treat IT as a cost center. Um, out of curiosity, because I just used cost center is a business term, uh, uh, and keeping the audience here in mind. Um, do you all know what I mean when I say cost center? When IT is a cost center, because that's something that if I tell like a CEO or a C-level person or a business person, they immediately know what I'm talking about because they've been taught that at school all the time. And it was sort of surprising when I first learned about it that I was just imitating a crow. Okay, so a cost center, like spelled exactly what you would expect it to. So cost center. A cost center in business is something that you have to spend money on, you have to have, but doesn't provide value towards like your end product. And it's this weird thing where a lot of business people feel and treat the IT departments as a cost center, when in reality the software is literally part of like what the product they're making and delivering. So it's not a cost center, it is the actual product, but they don't necessarily treat it like that, which then causes a huge disconnect between, well, the IT and like what you're building and then the people who are making decisions. And that can actually be a source of all the problems that you see of like, well, the C-level just being completely disconnected because they don't actually believe that the IT department provides value. My company was an infrastructure company and software wasn't considered the product. That's exactly what I mean. They treat it like a cost center, which means that they want to minimize the amount of cost going down the drain, so they cut it every chance that they can. The counter to that, and a way to get a company to sort of realize that it's not a cost center, is to have the people in charge create something called a value stream map, which basically just maps out the path to get like your product to the users, and that's usually when they're like, oh, I guess all those programmers are important. I think what people like about coding is not the coding itself, but rather that it's a field that sets you up for a lifetime of constant learning. That's a huge part of it. I think also being an integral part of creating a product is really important. And I think really helps a lot of people like sort of have this ownership. And I think that makes people happy. The contract out to Ukraine, one of them to have US devs. You've been coding for years. You don't want to do anymore. Most people that I know, when they're sick and tired of coding, they want to quit. It's usually not coding that they're sick and tired of anymore. It's businesses that don't treat them well, and they're burning out on just the business side of it. What I can say is that there are companies that know how to do it right. They're far and few between. One of the reasons why I'm a manager is because I want to change things, and I can do that when I'm in control. But as I've told my bosses, I am toxic to toxic environments because I go in and like tell people to change and do all that stuff, and either I'm going to affect that change or I'm going to get fired, which I'm okay with. If they won't let me make things better, then just get rid of me and let me go somewhere else that will. Very hostile work environment. I'm so sorry about that. That really sucks. And it's super, super bad because it means that people like you who have experience then potentially exit the industry, which is terrible for the industry. So I hope that you're able to stay in, but I also hope that you're able to find some place that's good for you, because you deserve that. You deserve a good environment where you can thrive and like be mentally healthy. Zeth hello, good morning. All right, today is a rant day. I should do more of those. It's been a while since I've done like a business stream where we just talked like business from a management point of view. Or maybe I have more like a viewership now. Maybe I can do like an actual AMA type thing where I answer questions from a manager's point of view, and just expose everybody else's companies about how bad they are. A good manager makes a good job. I would agree on that. Yeah. A good manager is required to make the team actually be able to focus, but also cover the team so that they can do what they want, how they want. Okay, so I create this user. I now have this new user here. I need to now create the default task, which we have here is default. So I want to now get the default task. And then how did I do that? So get tasks. Oh yeah, I could just do this. Task find all. Oh, but I need to do a query. So it's not going to be exactly the same. You have a tech friend who streams and he has a QA jar, then leaves QA for end of stream. Interesting. I try to do sort of QA as I go. And then with this project we have tests. So like the tests help a lot. Am I reading it right? Did you define SQL triggers using CRM? No, I have not. No. No triggers. So I don't have any SQL triggers using CRM. I have not been sold on SQL triggers yet. I've used them in the past. I have been burned by them in the past. And I know they're fast, but I don't know if this speed is worth it. Oh, okay. Stefan, is it okay? You know what? I never asked. Is it Stefan or Steven? I think I've been using Steven, but I realized when you said QA, my brain went to quality assurance, not like questions, like a question jar. That just shows my brain like where I am at with software development. So sorry about that. I totally get that now. Yes, don't get enough questions yet for that. Maybe if I start doing that, if I start getting too many that I can't like actually get any work done, then I probably would switch over and start doing that. Did I know that Tokyo redesigned their entire subway system by studying mold? They use the slime mold, and when it encounters, so I had heard a rumor of that, but I didn't know if it was true or not. But that's really cool. Although I thought it was ants. But maybe mold makes sense too. They actually redesigned their subway system. That's really cool. That is really cool. I've never been to Tokyo, so I have it would be interesting to go there and sort of like experience that in person. All right, so I need to get all the tasks. So this is going to be default tasks equals, we want tasks. So I got tasks this way. Oh, which means I need to do this thing. And then I don't have like a where query find. Okay, so I have find. We did the find all last time, but I don't want to find all. I don't want to do find. Oh, maybe it would be find all. But I need like a where. Maybe it's not find. I was hoping it would be like query where. Don't sort of see that. Oh, and you don't have any of that. Okay. Imagine waking up and your boss tells you you're gonna move a subway tunnel. Oh yeah, it's easy. I played SimCity. It's super easy. I just like draw a new line, delete it. I'm sure in real life, it's just as easy and not as, not difficult at all. Okay, so luckily they put like they did find by ID here. That's not what I want. Select. Find by primary key. Find with conditions and orders. Okay, so find and then a filter. Okay, we do a find and a filter. So find, filter. Then, okay. Well, this seems easy enough. So we're going to do task. Okay, so tasks. Column is default. Dot equal. Okay, dot equal to true. Then we build. Oh wait, no, I don't want to build that. The dot build doesn't make sense. They're making Sims 4 free. Oh man, that was the last Sims game that I played. I remember I remember when I got that on the computer that I had that on. And I played the heck out of that. Okay, so filter order by ascending dot all. Okay, so I then get dot all from that. Pass it in a reference the DB and await this. We're gonna have to figure out a way to deal with the unwrap thing. So that gives me all the default tasks. So I knew people that they got the Sims games only to build houses. They didn't care about any other part of the game. It's just that their house building sort of experience was the best of everything. And so that's all they did was build houses. So totally makes sense. Looking at CORM docs, and this doesn't feel like SQL at all anymore. So Zethran, the way to sort of have you ever used an ORM before? Because it's a vastly different experience from like actual SQL type things. Even SQL on code is going to be a different experience than using an ORM. Yeah, I haven't even thought about that. I thought about that game in so long. I don't even know if I would enjoy it anymore. Maybe I'll have to take a look at it. Okay, so now I have these default tasks. So I want to loop through the default tasks, and I want to create new tasks. So I get this user response. That's great. But I want to create a new task here. So this is going to be a new task equals, let's take the default tasks. I can into iterator and take ownership of this, and we're going to map you. And you're a default task. And I'm gonna return. Okay, so you haven't. You worked with lots of databases. Right, okay. So the big thing to remember here is that this is a super abstraction. So it's usually an abstraction on top of an abstraction to then connect into the database and use it. And it's there to make things really easy for you at the cost of speed. Of just like working with a database. Usually it can be something like 10 times slower than just like directly querying, but you get safety and you get all sorts of other fun like things that make it so easy for you as part of it. So I like ORMs. I would say go with ORMs until the speed becomes like something you can't do, and then sort of like refactor them out and use your own stuff if you really need to. This would be useful for client exposed backend services. I mean, it's useful for any type of thing. Like as long as you don't need the fastest possible connections to a database, I'd say an ORM is really, 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 really good. And then on top of it, um, you still need to know SQL to sort of like understand what's going on, especially if you need to debug what's happening. Um, but it's really nice. I like them a lot. If we get to the point where we're doing more advanced things, you'll then see the power of ORMs when your joins just sort of auto magically happen. And at that point, it's like, oh, that crazy, 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 like 300 line SQL file is now just like a 5 line, just tell me what to do. And it's like, okay, I get it now. Map. Okay, so I want to turn each of these into a new SQL task. I don't necessarily want to. Now, if I do this here, this is gonna like one after the other insert them. And I mean, that's not necessarily a huge problem because I only have like 3 tasks, so it should happen really fast. I guess let's try that first, then maybe we can try a bulk insert later. So if I do this here, I want a, like, I wonder, maybe I don't even want to do a new task like this. What if I just do default task, insert iterator for each? We take this default task. Can I make you async? Will you be just super, super upset? Maybe. Let's find out. So I want to create, just like we have a new user here. Let's do let new task equals task active model. Okay, we have you. I'm gonna put in, don't have the ID. Okay, make it default. All right, so priority. I want all these things to grab from this default task. So this would be set. Priority is an option. It's gonna be some default task dot priority. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't need the sum because I'm just grabbing it from there. It's already an option. So I just do that. Okay, title. You are a default task dot title, except I forgot the set. Completed at. I don't remember if the default tasks have any of those set or not. Oh, I don't want them to set to be user ID. I actually want to set this to be the user ID here. So I want to move in this user. So I need that new user ID is equal to user dot ID. It's an I32, so that implements copy. So that should copy in here just fine. User ID is default. This is going to be a set. False. You're not default. All right, so expected an option. Okay, so you're a some user ID. How about you? You are an option too? Found an option bool. Okay, so you're a sum false. Oh, because this can be just a null. And a null is the default value. Okay, so I just do that. You. Okay, so mismatch types, expected. Okay, so then I do that. New task dot insert. That's gonna be interesting. If I need the DB, okay, so this is where potentially using a for loop would be a lot helpful, or somehow moving that in, because I don't think you need to be async, do you? Oh, you do need to be async in here. But you can't because, well, actually, no, I'm not returning anything at all. Expected unit type enclosed, found opaque type future output. Is that? Yeah, no, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think I can do that. So it can't be async. I don't think there's a for each async here. So let's refactor this to be just a normal for loop. Have I ever used gRPC proto buffs? I have not. I watched a meetup talk about gRPC. That was with Node.js. But I didn't really look into it after that. It looked really cool, really interesting. That was years ago too, so that was early on. It seems to have like taken off a lot more recently, especially in game dev areas. But I don't know. I don't know. Like I want to like maybe look into it. I have so many things I want to look into. I just don't get to very many of them, unfortunately. If only I could quit my job and then do nothing but learning. That that would be amazing, but also like I wouldn't provide any value. Okay, so let's try this again. Actually, you know what? I can just convert this directly into a for loop. So we do default tasks into iterator for each. So move you. So starting with that block, we're gonna do a for something in some things that's going to be the default tasks dot into. I might as well do an into iterator. Actually, it's a vector, so it's already an into iterator if I just do this, which is fine. And then I don't need that part. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so this is the model. So this is a default task. So I create the new task in here. I insert you and I await unwrap. Okay, so that's great. And then I return this. So you're happy. Let's rerun the test again. Cannot read properties undefined, reading length. It's the same. Let's see, sign up. Oh. Expected password match to be true. Okay. Stacking, hello. I guess that because you probably can't hear me because you're in a meeting, but thank you, thank you. All right, so I was doing the wrong one. This is gonna come in at the very end here. This is the error that I'm working on, which is the password matched. So let's create a README. Okay, so next steps. I want to hash the password and save into the database. So right now, let's say I was to be bad. Right now I'm just doing this. Let's say I was to put request user dot password in, just like that. I throw in the actual password we're getting out, and just storing that plain text into the database. Terrible idea. This test will catch that and then say, look, here's my password that I used. That should not be this thing. This is, don't do that. Like, make it an actual, like, hashed, like a hashed and salted value. And I'm using bcrypt in Node.js, and so we need to use the equivalent in Rust to then hash that and save it. And there's plenty of different hashing libraries. We'll have to find one for Rust that we trust. But besides that, like, I know there's like bcrypt, there's scrypt, there's a whole bunch of different algorithms now too to use this. In the end, I don't think it matters too much as long as it does the right thing and it's written by people who know what they're doing. As in not me. So tomorrow's Friday. So I should be here and we should work on this part. Hashing the password and saving it into the database. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I need to head off and go do all the fun stuff like being a manager at my day job. As I mentioned, I'll be back tomorrow morning and we'll continue off this. Off by John. Yeah, sorry we missed it. Yeah, I've been doing the streams 7 a.m. Mountain Time until around like 8:15 or so. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.